Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today to review Shin Godzilla and also talk about the entire history with the Godzilla films. When I was thinking about that, I remember my nephew left his. I bought this for my nephew at Dollar Tree, and it's a Godzilla figurine. I thought I'd show it off. It's in my dad's room now. My dad passed away, and I wanted to show you. It's kind of neat. Now, Shin Godzilla is the latest Godzilla movie. And it's a reboot after the 2014 American Godzilla, which Toho distributed. And this one starts out complete reboot, and it shows like the Department of the Ministry of Stuff of Japan, and they're having this giant disturbance in the water, and it causes like an earthquake and stuff like that. And they're trying to figure out what this is, and you start seeing all this water spout out. Oh, and this giant tail comes up, and they're trying to figure it out. And then it's Godzilla when he comes out of the water, the wreck havoc, and you see all these boats, all fantastic scenes of destruction I've never seen before in the Godzilla movie. They did a really great job on these, but it's really, at first when I saw the monster, I thought it was a monster Godzilla had to fight. It didn't look like Godzilla at all. It's one of the strangest Godzillas I've ever seen. And it's like he evolves throughout the history of the movie. But when you first see him, his head is like a snake, and he just goes like this. He does it. He's kind of like laying on the ground. He has his legs to propel him, and he has no arms. Very strange. It looks like a parade float with giant eyes and the gills. And there's like, I don't know if there's blood or fluid throwing out of his gills every so often. Massive destruction he's causing, but very strange Godzilla. And he ends up evolving into the Godzilla that we're more used to. But I mean, it still looks really different. But that's not a shot against the film. And in a lot of ways, this has this kind of like a political satire because it shows like the procedural of them trying to find out what this creature is and find out what it is and how to destroy it. And it goes through like all this. Different thing about setup, different rooms, and they're going back and forth. It's not incredibly funny, but it definitely has a sense of humor. It's not laugh out loud funny, but it is tongue in cheek. I think it was like a parody of the Japanese government too. And I know government being like completely clueless. And like I said, Godzilla never existed before in this film. It's like a brand new creature. And the scenes of destruction are the best I've ever seen. The best I've ever seen. And then when he breathes fire, even that's different because he opens his mouth and then his bottom jaw opens up like this. It's really strange. It looks so cool. It's a fantastic film. Basically, Godzilla comes out to wreak havoc on Tokyo, and they try to destroy it. That's the movie. I'm not giving away any spoilers or anything like that. And then it's mostly, like I said, tongue-in-cheek with sense of humor with incredible destruction scenes from Godzilla. The fire breath is the best I've ever seen. And scenes of destruction, I'm surprised that it got a PG rating. I'm surprised it wasn't... It had been right on the borderline between PG and PG-13 because it was just that violent. Because they showed scenes where they were dropping bombs on him, and he started bleeding. There was like a giant shower of blood fell off of Godzilla. All CGI, of course. I'm surprised it got a PG. It had been right on the borderline, but it's a fantastic film. I really enjoyed it. It's really different. But like I said, for the most part, it has a sense of humor. Then about like towards the second half, the U.S. wanted to. Send nukes after it and drop a nuclear bomb on it, and that's when things started to get real. They said they don't want to go through that hell again, and they wanted to try to find an alternative way to kill Godzilla. I don't want to give anything else away. That's the whole movie, and I loved it. A full on 10 out of 10. It was in subtitles. I really enjoyed it. It's just really a very unusual looking Godzilla. Just expect that, but the scenes of destruction are fantastic. So I really enjoyed the film. So let's go back and talk about my personal history with Godzilla. Now, as far as science fiction goes, Godzilla's been around since the 50s, and the King Kong's been around since the 30s. And I don't think I saw any Godzilla. I saw in Godzilla movies till later on. I was a little bit older, like in the third, fourth grade. Same with King Kong. Whenever they had the 1976 King Kong on, while I was in fifth grade, I remember seeing that. That's when I first saw that in '79. And the one I really saw was when growing up was Planet of the Apes when I was real little, and then of course the Star Trek cartoon series, and then leading on to the Star Trek TV show. But those are, I did a thing about my history of Star Trek, anyways, and then the thing with Planet of the Apes will be coming up in another video. So let's go back and talk about my history. Now, a lot of these films kind of mixed together and stuff like that. I don't have the best recollections on some of these movies. Some I only seen once on late night TV. There might have been a few that fell through the cracks, because there was a lot of them throughout, especially in the 60s and 70s. So let's go ahead and check it out. Oh, someone's messaging me. Well, let's see. That's cool. Joe's glad I congratulated Emma. Okay, let's go ahead and see Godzilla. Okay. Whoop. Yeah. I can't. Okay. Okay. I'll go back to this. I got distracted. I don't edit. 1954, Godzilla King of the Monsters. That came out with Raymond Burr, the old black and white one. And I saw that whenever we were, my dad, he knew people had VCRs and stuff like that. He saw a better deal than a VCR. He saw a video disc player. And he bought an RCA. And that was one with the cardboard. They weren't like the ones that looked like a giant CD. They were the ones that, like, in a big cardboard sleeve, they had to angle and push in like that. And Mace Electronics. And the only place where you could rent those was Mace Electronics, right? And we rented Godzilla King of the Monsters there. And that's a fantastic film. I loved it. Full on 10 out of 10. Most of these movies are 10 out of 10. I love most of them. And the weird thing about that is, when we had that through a period of like 2 weeks or something like that, it broke down twice in 2 weeks. And my dad took it back to get a VCR, and they said he was glad he did, because about a week or two later, Mace Electronics got rid of those things, and all those movies they had to rent there, they got rid of all of them. And like I said, back then you could rent movies. They had a thing where you could rent videotapes too. So that was Godzilla King, and we rented that. That was on Vestron Video, or Vestron Laserdisc, and we also rented Rodan, which Rodan was really awesome too. But that was that was one of my favorite monsters. And now next is Godzilla Raids Again. Now I didn't see that till I was in Germany in the army, and my dad sent me a bunch of videotapes, and that was also what was known as Gojira the Fire Monster. And it didn't really look like Godzilla, but it was kind of like Godzilla, kind of. And the first time I saw it, I wasn't a big fan, but after I saw it the second time, I was a big fan of it. So I really enjoyed that film. King Kong versus Godzilla, I've been wanting to see that for a long time, growing up, and I didn't get to see it until I was in AIT, and I bought a bunch of VCR videotapes. I didn't have a VCR at the time. I rented one for like 8 days from this one place, so I had to wait till I went home. And then we saw it. I saw King Kong versus Godzilla during my vacation, like 17-day vacation between AIT and I went to Germany at home. And I really enjoyed that one. My dad said King Kong looked like crap, but the Japanese did King Kong Escapes too, and King Kong kind of looked like crap in that one too. That's one of the best ones. I heard they're going to be remaking it. That would be a fantastic movie to remake. Now, next is Mothra vs. Godzilla. That's another one of my favorite ones. We rented that. That was on Paramount Home Video. Like I said, all these are like 10 out of 10, so I'm not going to bother to say that everything. If the movie's not a 10 out of 10, I'll let you know. But Mothra Godzilla is one of the best ones. Those used to be on Paramount Home Videos. I rented that. I really liked that. Now next is Ghidra the three-headed monster. I had a hell of a time finding that. And I didn't find that until 1991 when I was in Fort Detrick, Maryland, at this one video rental place. I remember renting it and really enjoying it. I assume Godzilla's in that one. That's a really good one. A little goofy, but a lot of fun. Or they say Ghidra or Ghidorah. King Ghidorah or Ghidra. It should be good Ghidorah. Next one is... some of these are named by different names. It said Invasion of Astro Monsters, but I know it better as Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. That's another great one with the great Nick Adams, who I was a big fan of back then. Because he was really good in that one and Die Monster Die, two great horror films. Well, that was... Monster Zero is more sci-fi. And then next is Ibira, Horror of the Deep, Godzilla vs. Sea Monster. Now, I don't remember that one that well. I like the monster like a giant crab monster. A lot of people... hate on that movie because Godzilla's not really in it till like the last 10-15 minutes, but it's still an entertaining film. I still liked it. Next is Son of Godzilla, which is a great movie. Then Destroy All Monsters. I'm pretty sure I saw that on I saw Son of Godzilla from when I was in the AIT also. Godzilla vs. Monster Zero I saw on a late night horror film, and then I rented it in Fort Detrick, Maryland. I got ahead of myself. Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, I think I saw that on TBS, the Turner Broadcast System. They showed it on their one, on that one. Son of Godzilla I got in AIT. I didn't get to see it till I got home between AIT and Germany. I said Destroy All Monsters. I was pretty sure I saw that on. I forgot what I was going to say. On the late night horror show that we had, hosted by Jim Cook. All Monsters Attack, Godzilla's Revenge. I didn't see that till much, much later, and that's kind of a cheat. That movie's it's entertaining, but it's kind of a cheat. It's like 70 minutes long. It's about this kid that gets bullied at school, and he wanted to go to that Monster Island to talk to that little son of Godzilla. And basically that's, and he outwits bullies and some bank robbers or something like that. And basically have just clips from Son of Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Sea Monster. Now, that one's not one of the better ones. That one's, I'll probably give that this is all called All Monsters Attack. All Monsters Attack's a lie. Godzilla's Revenge is actually a lie, too. For that time, I give that maybe a 6 out of 10, just because it has so much footage from the other thing, but it's entertaining to see once. Godzilla vs. Hedorah, or Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, is a movie that I saw on a late night horror film. And the first time I saw it, I hated it. I watched like a half hour and I just flipped something else. I went to bed or something. And for the longest time, I hated it. And then when I was in Fort Bragg, I went to a place called Coconuts in the mall. And I bought some videotapes. They had a great selection. I remember buying Gwar Live from Antarctica. I'm a big Gwar fan. I think after Dave Brockie passed away, Gwar's not the same anymore. I bought Devo, The Men Who Make the Music. And then oddly enough, I got Godzilla vs. Smog Monster. I wanted to give it a second chance. The next time I saw it, the whole thing, I loved it. So sometimes you see a movie and then you give it a second chance and then you really like it. It could have been just real late night and I was tired because of the late night movie. But that restored my faith in that one. I really love that movie. And the Smog Monster looked like a giant horseshoe crab. That's a really easy one to distinguish. Now it gets a little Godzilla vs. Gigan. I think I seen that one. I think I did. Godzilla vs. Megalon. That's the one with the giant robot Jet Jaguar on there. I remember buying that at McCory's. We didn't buy a lot of VHS tapes at the time because they used to be really expensive. Like when E.T. came out on VHS in the 80s, it was like $350. Like, I ain't paying that. My dad ain't paying that. That's crazy. And then they started having like more like what do they call it? Public domain movies. I guess Godzilla vs. Megalon was public domain. I remember buying it for like, they were selling them like $5 at McCory's. And I bought that. I got Chinese Chinese Connection with Bruce Lee, and then watched Godzilla vs. Megalon, and then there was a big tracking problem, so we took that one back. Got the money back on that one. That was a really good one. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I seen it. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember. And then there was Terror Mechagodzilla. I might have seen. I know I saw Terror Mechagodzilla because I remember renting that. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I think I've seen that one. Like I said, some of these get confusing because they have like different Mechagodzilla ones. They all kind of run together. Return of Godzilla. That was that was the first one they really hyped up as a big budget. The Terror Mecha is 1975, and they're all kind of like modest budget. Now the Return of Godzilla, or Godzilla 1985, as I like to call it, came out. It was a bigger budgeted Godzilla movie. And, yeah, that was really cool. I really liked that. Raymond Burr, I remember renting that. And the weird thing is, I remember seeing on Siskel and Ebert, and then Siskel and Ebert said it was one of the worst movies of the year, but whenever they showed credits from their show, Siskel and Ebert, if you see the ending credits, I think Godzilla. Roger Ebert's on a typewriter, and there's a Godzilla 1984 poster in the background. If he hated the movie so much, why would he have a poster in the background in his office? That's a little bit of a contradiction, if you ask me. Next is Godzilla vs. Biollante, which I remember reading about in Fangoria when I was in the Army. They were saying how ugly the monster was, and I had a hell of a time finding it. I couldn't find it anywhere. It was on Thorn EMI video, and I saw it. I finally saw it on Cinemax like years later. You know, it was a while back. And that was my first thing of the newer ones. Then Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah came out, and that was a big controversial one in '91. Because I remember on Entertainment Tonight, the big controversy where they showed like I think it was from World War I. They had like American soldiers and stuff. And the Japanese soldiers, Godzilla came out and he killed the 2 American soldiers, and the Japanese soldiers were cheering. And I think that pissed a lot of people off. And that wasn't played in the States. And that one was for until a year or two later when I finally saw that on video. And it was alright. And now Godzilla vs. Mothra, that's the one I really hated. Godzilla and Mothra, the Battle for Earth. They made Godzilla look like an asshole. And Mothra looked like this great. I mean, it just, I don't know. It just ended up making me mad. I didn't like it at all. So that's the one I didn't like. That was like I'd rather see Godzilla's Revenge again than that one. I didn't like that one. I like the 2 Godzilla Mothra spin-offs, though. With little kids and stuff. Those were really good. Now, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. That was a good one. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. I remember that one. Godzilla vs. Destroyer. That's one of my favorite Godzilla movies of all time. Of all time. That's a full-on 10 out of 10. I mean, that was with the glowing Godzilla that melts. And it had like these giant scorpion spider monsters. I think that was more of a scary, more of a violent one. That was probably full-on PG-13 on that. Then in '97, I saw the Matthew Broderick one that everyone hates. But I still like that one. Toho distributed it, even though it looked nothing like Godzilla and it acted nothing like Godzilla. But I enjoyed the movie. I saw it at the theater with my dad. My dad and I both liked it. And everyone in the theater liked it, except it didn't look like Godzilla. And people were saying that Godzilla was like a wimp. He was just a scared animal, but it was a very entertaining film. I liked it. And then it became a cartoon series. I saw some episodes of that. It was really good. Oh, and back in '78... there was a Godzilla TV show, a Godzilla cartoon I used to watch on Saturday mornings by Hanna-Barbera. And it had Godzuki on. That show was fantastic. I loved that show as a kid. Brings back a lot of memories. Then, in right around 99, 2000, came Godzilla 2000. That was a Toho reboot. And I remember seeing that on Cinemax. And then I think we ended up buying it. My dad wanted to buy it on DVD when it was like $5, and that had a really disturbing scene where the monster he was fighting tried to eat Godzilla. That was pretty disturbing. Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, I'm pretty sure I've seen that one, but now Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, I never seen that one. Giant Monsters All Attack, I didn't see that one. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, newer one, I've seen that. Godzilla Tokyo SOS, I didn't see that one. Godzilla Final Wars, I remember buying the DVD for that. And they said it was the final Godzilla in 2004. You know, I didn't buy it till like a year or two later. Then Then there was Always Sunny on 3rd Street 2. I don't know what that must have got. I don't know what the hell that is. And then there was the 2014 Godzilla, the American version. That was a big hype about. Bryan Cranston was in it. And I liked the movie, but it made me so mad because they had a giant monster. Every time Godzilla would fight the monster, he'd fight for a half minute, and it's getting so excited. And then they cut to the people for 5 minutes. They show the monsters fighting for half of 30 seconds, and they cut to people for 5 minutes. That was really, boy, I admit that wasn't a good. That really upset me. Not only that wasn't one of the better ones, even though it was big budget. That really bothered me. They kept cutting away. They should just show, because we're there to see Godzilla and the monsters fight. If I want to see a bunch of people running around, I'll watch something like Steel Magnolias, which I don't want to see. So that was my history of Godzilla. See how long this video's going on for. Oh God, 21 minutes. That's just like I did a video called Godzilla vs. Trav from my buddy Trav back in 2013. And that one about 20 minutes too. And this one's almost, probably by the end it'll probably be 22 minutes. But I hope you like this review of Godzilla, Shin Godzilla. Thanks to my friend Tony Town for making me the awesome thumbnail. And I hope you like this in the history of Godzilla movies. So until next time, bye please. Take care, my Legion. I'm going to put this on Godzilla Group, Godzilla God of Monsters. That my friend Scarlett, and my friend Maggie. And I said my friend Scarlett has. So I hope you like this video. And like I said, take care.